They were noisy, they were chaining themselves to the fence, and people felt like maybe the White House was slow-walking this, and in the end, they both seemed sort of borne out because there was a kind of productive tension. I wonder, in historical context, is that the kind of thing you generally see from the successful social movements?
Absolutely. I think that what this occasion reminded me today of the sacrifices and the struggles of a civil rights icon named Bayard Rustin. Mm-hmm. Rustin organized the beginnings of what became known as the Journeys of Reconciliation that later became the Freedom Rides in the early 1960s. He was the architect with Martin Luther King Jr. organizing the bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955-56, and then organized the Civil Rights March, the March on Washington, in August '63. Bayard Rustin was a leader of the civil rights struggle, but he was also gay. And at the end of his life, Rustin realized and understood that the message of the civil rights movement, which was to abolish all forms of stigmatization and exclusion, also extended to our brothers and sisters who are lesbians and gay.
Mr. Phillips, this is part of a long journey, and I think you had been involved in a battle, in a political fight in 1970s and 1980s around marching in American Legion Parade, right? Even before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was on the table.
Yes, that's correct.
And what had happened in that?
Well, every year we faced opposition because some of the other soldiers, particularly officers, would say, "Why do you have to march behind a gay banner? It's okay to be gay, but we don't want you to advertise it." And they said we would say this is part of who we are, and we're proud of it. And even one year, a man dashed out from the crowd and slashed the gay banner. The police arrested him right away. I don't know what happened to him, but for people to understand that just to be who you are is part of your life, and most people can do that openly, and gays and lesbians up till now have not been able to do that.
Commander Dunning, you're one of the few people, perhaps the only person who has been able to do that. A successful challenge to your discharge under Don't Ask, Don't Tell led to that. And I think you are in a unique position to kind of tell us what the next 6 months and the next year or two as this policy is implemented are going to look like based on how your experience has been being when you were an out gay woman in the armed forces.
I think that's a great point. I think my experience serving as an open lesbian in the military can sort of show how it can be successful. And if anyone can implement change, the military can. And we have seen demonstrated from the highest leadership, from the Commander-in-Chief, from the Defense Secretary, from the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Admiral Mullen, and he gets it. He talked at the hearings about how this is a matter of integrity. It's about the integrity of the individual, and it's about the integrity of the institution. And when I watched that, it brought tears to my eyes, because to see the most senior military officer get it, not theoretically in his head, but get it in his heart, where it really, he seemed to understand what this is all about. And so I do have faith in the military leadership that they are going to be able to implement this change successfully. And it comes from top-down messaging, leadership, and reinforcement.
You actually experienced it, lived it day to day. I'm wondering how much social resistance you think there will be just at the sort of peer-to-peer level, or whether the structure of the military is sort of equipped to be able to kind of overcome that.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm sure there may be isolated incidents of, disturbances or folks that, may not be open to this idea of serving alongside a gay or lesbian that they're aware of, because today everyone is serving alongside a gay or lesbian pretty much, and they just now will have the opportunity to know it for sure. But I think that my experience shows that it's an opportunity to have a conversation. It's an opportunity to educate. And as the Pentagon study showed, those who reported having actually served alongside someone that they knew to be gay or lesbian or suspected were gay or lesbian, 92% of them said that it was not a problem at all, and that their units were able to perform admirably and successfully with no incidents.
That was, I thought, the most striking figure in that whole report, and in some ways the kind of game changer of it. Mr. Phillips, I'm going to give you the last word, and you've watched the politics of this over a long period of time, and I wonder if you ever really thought that you would see the day that we're seeing today.
I didn't think it would happen in my lifetime, no.
Really?
but it has. But I just say, like the commander, I have great faith in the training that our armed forces gives us. And I think we'll have some difficulties, some things to overcome, but it'll make us stronger, just like the integration that President Truman did of black forces into the armed services. It will be a positive thing that happens.
Professor Manning Marable, Commander Zoe Dunning, and Mr. Garrison Phillips, many thanks for your time on this historic day. I can't tell you how much I